Well, this is something you see quite frequently out here in the West. It's a hitching post. Hitch your horses up to, and can you imagine what fun it would be to ride here? Not a set trail, just go out and explore on horseback? Oh yeah! Well, we woke up to a beautiful morning here in the Deer Lodge National Forest. We're between Helena and Butte, Montana. Altitude, about 6,300 feet. Nice and cool compared to being down lower. Yeah, the flowers are beautiful. Those are thistles, Linda?
Thistles. There's all kinds. There's bold thistles, spear thistles, common thistles. They're all pokey.
You were telling me yesterday that parts of them are edible.
Yeah, I read that they're edible, and I think they said the buds or the inner part of the flower, and the actual stem is edible, but it's a lot of work to get rid of the
all those
cuckoo.
Yeah, all of the stickers.
Stickers, yeah. And
the thorns.
And they say that the root is edible.
Well, we're going to have to try it. You first.
You first. How's your coffee?
Good.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for these cups that are just the right size.
Yeah, Tony's one of our viewers, and he sent us these cups. It was very nice of you, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You about ready to go hiking?
Well, after I finish this.
It might take a while. These are big.
I know. Tomorrow.
Speaking of exploring, we left our walking sticks at home, so we're going to have to go cut a couple of them because I know that the terrain we're getting into is really uneven, and walking sticks will come real in handy for that. I got a good saw. This is kind of like the silky saws, but this one is made by Samurai brand, also made in Japan. Excellent, excellent quality. Now, where am I going to find a walking stick out here? Obviously there's sticks everywhere. Problem is finding one that's not rotted. Put your hand where you want the height, and I'll cut it.
I'll cut it a little higher, because...
Right here?
Cut it up here.
Oh, you want a big tall one? Okay. Okay, let's go smooth these out, and then we can go hiking.
Yeah.
All right? All right. Okay.
Okay.
You can...
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it's just a temporary stick, make that top as comfortable as possible so it doesn't hurt our hands while we're walking. On this knife I put a 90-degree spine on it for striking ferro rods to make spark, but it's also good for shaving wood. Very good. Linda's knife is the same way. I don't use this big knife very often, but when I do get it out, I just love it. I think Ontario Knife Works is out of business now. This is the RD7 Bush, but I think the company that took Ontario over is making this knife again.
Okay.
How's yours coming along?
Pretty good.
There's a stick that's been laying against the tree here, but it's really tall, it's kind of weak, and they've been using it as a fireplace poker here. By the way, speaking of fire pits, check this out. Some nice kindling laying nearby here, but you'll notice that not only isn't the fire pit full of trash, there's no trash in it, but the people also dug the ash out, so it's ready to go for the next person. Look how nice it is, though. It's got this flat cooking stone over here, so you can build fire underneath here, and you can cook on top. Very nice fire pit. We might have to utilize this later, although I wouldn't want to take a chance on starting any forest fires, though.
Hey, I found our first artifact.
What is it?
Stovepipe / target.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been used as a target, but it is an old stovepipe. Hey, speaking of artifacts, why is it in Montana we seldom find artifacts? I mean, we found like 2 broken arrowheads, and I found a scraper that was just made out of basalt, just a real rough one once, but in all the time we spend hiking and camping in Montana, we never find artifacts. Why is that?
Well,
any ideas, Linda?
Well, this is my outlook. Right now we're up in the mountainous area, and you and I know that it's hard to live up in the mountains if you don't have a house with heat and all that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, they didn't live up in the mountains, and because they lived down lower, and they came to the mountains maybe to hunt and passing through. So you're not going to find that many artifacts up in the mountains.
So what you're saying is you're not going to find flakes up here. Like down in the southwest, out in the desert, we find flakes from tool making everywhere. But up here, they didn't spend time up here, but you might find arrowheads here that they use for hunting, which would be few and far between. We obviously didn't live up here. We never find dwelling sites up here. We never find any kind of stone ruins or anything like that. Down lower, we find caves that have carbon, deposits on the roof from cooking fires and things like that. But I had a Blackfoot friend, Indian friend, that has since passed away, but I asked him about it years ago, and he says that if you want to find artifacts, they're down along the rivers, because basically they wintered down along the rivers, like along the Teton River and places like that, and they wintered down there, and that's where they would have spent their time making tools and living in general. You don't have to come to the mountains to hunt deer here. The deer are all over the plains and everything, and the elk.
Why come up here?
Yeah, and it'd be warmer down there, and you could shelter a little better. But anyways, that's just our thoughts on the subject.
So, the artifacts we do find are from like the 1800s, and newer.
From the mining days.
From the mining days and the early ranching.
Right.
Early homesteading, I guess.
That's it. But no Native American artifacts. We've found a couple arrowheads up in the mountains, but broken ones.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it.
Unless you come across a buffalo jump.
Yeah, but those don't tend to be. Those are down on the plains too.
Right, because the buffalo weren't up here.
So she's talking about what they refer to as a pishkin. It's a place where they used to run the buffalo off of cliffs. Not like you see in the movies. It wasn't like 200-foot high cliffs. It was like 20-foot high cliffs. They didn't want to damage the meat. They only wanted to break the legs so they could go up and spear them. And all of that is in the days before they had horses. Once they had horses, they didn't need pishkins anymore.
Into the woods we must go.
Well, that was a little freaky. That's a chainsaw in the distance. This tree is huge. It's old growth, man, and it is huge. Just a great big old tree. Disappearing into the sky up there.
Ooh.
Let's go check out the rocks. Well, it doesn't go back at all, but there is signs of charcoal down here in front, so it's been used as a shelter. Yeah, maybe just for cooking lunch or something. This is all windfall. They get major winds and microbursts in this area. And that's what all this is. All this blowdown makes for some really rough going though if you're trying to make your way through it. Not good at all. Just a tangle of down lumber. Now a lot of this wood is pine that was killed by the pine bark beetles. And that's why it died and got weak and fell over. Here, I'll show you. See all the runs from the beetles? Pine bark beetle. What they did is they got underneath the bark and they just went right up the tree and they basically killed the tree. But that's what the pine bark beetle did in Montana. Well, we got into a spot where we can't go any further. It drops off in front, but there's so many trees down that the passage through here is just impossible. So we're going to look for another route. We're trying to get to the top of the ridge, which is over here. I don't know, there's so much blow down here that might not even be possible. We're going to go check it out. Now you see why the walking sticks were so important. Just having that third point of balance just makes it so much easier to get over stuff like this. Well, this is interesting. There's wood up here that's been hand hewn into boards, maybe for roof on a cabin or something. There's just a few laying here. You know, they're 10 feet long or so, what's left here. And then there's some poles that have been stripped over there.
They look like the roof poles?
Yeah, like roof poles.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. Well, who knows? Well, there was that stovepipe that we came across. So once upon a time, somebody built a cabin or some kind of shelter here. Well, I think we have to give up. It's just a matrix of fallen down logs and everything that we can't make our way through. So, this has been fun trying though. We'll go try a different route, maybe see something different. It's beautiful up here though. Now we made it back down to the meadow that we're camped in, and it's time for some lunch anyway. Around camp here, Linda and I have been picking up live 22 rounds, and they're not duds, they were just dropped and left to lay on the ground. And I know they're just 22s, but it reminds me of value, and there's something I can tell you about 22 rounds like this. In the early 1970s, Linda and I bought a sailboat. It was a Pearson Triton, 28 feet on deck is all. but they were built extremely heavy for the day. See, the Pearson Triton was, I digress. That's not what I wanted to talk about. Anyways, it was a strong boat. But in 1977, we left Seattle and we sailed across the Pacific to Hawaii and then down to the South Pacific. But the thing is that not too long before that, a little 22 round like this was very valuable in the Marquesas Islands. Now, how is that so? Well, you could trade a single 22 round like this for a sack of flour and other things, maybe a pound of coffee or things like that. Because to the Marquesans, a single 22 round equaled 1 goat, because they had wild goats on the islands, and that's what it took to feed their family, 1 22 round. It had value. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you. Linda's making up some jalapeno
mozzarella franks.
Thank you, Linda. And they're going to go on big hoagie rolls, yeah?
Yes.
They ought to be good. I like them steamed like that because it makes them plump up. Well, Linda's inside making a salad, but she said after the water boils away, just put some oil in the pan and brown them. Oh yeah, that'll do. All done. By the way, this is what the sausages were, and we got them from Sam's Club. They're the Members Mark brand, but they make a couple different flavors. These were excellent. We've had the other ones too. They're just really wonderful. Well, it's that time again. I need another set of tires. I've had maybe 5 sets of tires on this trailer. These are Goodyear Endurance tires. They're the only trailer tire you can buy that's made in America. But none of my Chinese tires that have been on here before have failed me in any way, and frankly they lasted as long as these Goodyear Endurance tires did. But I'm looking for suggestions. What do you guys recommend? I know I need an E-rated tire. These are ST225/75R15. So if you guys have any suggestions, would you leave it in the comments below? I'd appreciate it. After lunch, it got hot, and we ended up just staying cool the rest of the afternoon. So now it's evening time and we're setting out again in a different direction here because we just want to know what's around us. Yeah, we chose not to bring the motorcycle down a road like this.
Holy moly, look at how deep that rut is.
Yeah, I know. Whew. I brought the bike down here by myself just to check it out. You can see my tire tracks here, but I had a hard time finding a place to even turn around. Rick and Linda definitely won't be riding 2-up on roads like this. Well, on our way home, I got to get some new boots. We're going to pass through Helena on the way home, and I'm going to stop and get some decent hiking boots. These are like being on skis going down this slippery slopes. I need to get something with a good Vibram sole on it. These are Keens. They've sure been comfortable, but mainly for the desert. They're not working in the mountains here. Linda's boots are fine. Those are Keens. What's the sole look like on those? Oh yeah. Yeah, you're doing good. In your size 6s.
They help my ankle.
Yeah, that's important.
And I can tie them up pretty tight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, still watch your step.
I like them.
Well, we made our way down to the main road, and then we found this 2-track going up through here. We're going to follow it up and see what happens up here, just for fun. It may just lead to a nice camp spot, or who knows what. Maybe a mine or...
Remember that bull that was hanging around here?
Oh, that's true. So last evening, it was after sunset, but still pretty light out. And I'd been hearing loud cracking noises in the woods, the kind that make you think, Sasquatch. But
I was sitting outside under a tree, minding my own business. And then I see this dark shape moving through. I also heard the crackling noises, so I was on my toes, you know. And I see this dark shape moving through, and it was huge.
It was a big bull.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking bull elk, I mean cow bull. And he was gigantic. Now cows don't scare me, but bulls, I generally like to keep my distance.
He had a destination in mind because he kept right on going right on through.
He was so long and so big and muscular.
Fat.
Boy, yeah, well fed on all this grass up here. Anyways, we don't want to run into him today. I know he's still around because we're still hearing him in the woods.
And it's still smelling him.
Yeah, we can smell him too once in a while, so.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a tie-down strap here. I think I should take that home. Oh gosh, and somebody left their gloves here too. That's too bad. Yeah. Well, you see what's going on back here is up this little road that we followed in, it's woodcutters. And you can get a permit to come up here and cut firewood. And with all these trees, thousands and thousands of trees that are down, they're being cut up for firewood. And that's a good thing. Well, once again, we're being stopped by all this blowdown. You just can't make your way through this. It's just, a lot of this stuff is just waist high, and it'd be really hard to make your way through. We were going to cut back through here to get back to camp, but I think we're going to have to take the main road back.
Yeah, waist high. That means it's chest high for me.
Quit your complaining.
Well, it's nice that the woodcutters can come in here and make use of all this deadfall and blowdown.
All this pine bark lumber or wood that's just laying on the ground, all dead trees. The lumber companies wanted to cut up the pine bark beetle deadfall years ago, 15 years ago, or whenever it was all falling down, but they couldn't get an okay to come in here and cut that up into lumber. But which was a shame, you know, because now you can see it laying here. So now at least the people that need firewood are allowed to come in here and do this. And it'll all clean up. It'll all be pretty nice here pretty soon.
And it'll go back to what it used to look like.
Yeah, except they say Montana is going to be more Douglas fir trees. It used to be all pine trees in this area, but they say the Douglas fir will take over.
Yeah.
We do see a lot of healthy pine trees, though, still, so they're still around.
There's still some around.
Yeah. Well, I think I know whose track that is. That's that bull. That's a big track. It's probably at least 6 inches in diameter. There, I see our outfit. Let's see if we can bushwhack through here. I think it's so nice of the Forest Service to put these targets up everywhere. Hey, we're almost back to camp, and tomorrow we're going to take the motorcycle, the T-Dub. We're going to head up the mountain to a place called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't know what that's all about, but wouldn't you want to see it? Hey. Anyways, check in next week and we'll have that video up, and we're just going to do some more exploring around here.
Yeah. So if you like this video and you're new to our channel, please subscribe. We do more than just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cover equipment. We do all kinds of things and stuff that we try out and test ourselves. But mostly we just get out on road trips and do a little camping too. So be sure and subscribe. Oh, and to you guys who've been watching us for a long time and you're not subscribed, what's up with that? We need you to subscribe. It gives us a better chance at the algorithms on YouTube. It helps the channel immensely. Subscribe and leave a comment. That helps too.
Yeah.